The birthday book is coming out, one page at a time. That is the breaking news of the night. 24 hours after we broke the news on this program last night that a book of birthday letters to Jeffrey Epstein on his 50th birthday is in the possession of the Epstein estate in Florida. Other news organizations have credited our reporting and been following up on it and adding significantly to that reporting tonight. The latest reporting is from the New York Times, and it includes the image of the first page of the birthday book. It is a handwritten letter from Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator in sex trafficking, Ghislaine Maxwell, who assembled the book with the help of many of Jeffrey Epstein's rape victims who Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell raped when they were in middle school and high school. We learned last night on this program from the lawyer representing those victims that they were told by Ghislaine Maxwell to help her actually assemble the birthday book. And here is Ghislaine Maxwell's birthday note. The very first page of the birthday book was the birthday note from Ghislaine Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein. Here it is. It says, Jeffrey, the idea behind this book was simply to gather stories and old photographs to jog your memory about places and people and different events. Some of the letters will definitely achieve their intended goal. Some, well, you will have to read them to see for yourself. I know you will enjoy looking through the book, and I hope you will derive as much pleasure looking through it as I did putting it together for you. Happy, happy birthday, love, Ghislaine. Both the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal are reporting tonight that Donald Trump's name appears on the list of contributors to the birthday book. The Journal reports that contributors to the birthday book, quote, were grouped under categories such as science, Brooklyn, and family. The Journal says that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton were listed on the Friends group, which also included Jeffrey Epstein's criminal defense lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. The New York Times is also reporting tonight on another handwritten note to Jeffrey Epstein by Donald Trump. It says, to Jeff, you are the greatest, reads an inscription in a copy of Mr. Trump's book, Trump, The Art of the Comeback, that belonged to Mr. Epstein. And there it is. You see it signed Donald. It's dated October 1997, the month the book came out. That signature that you just saw will no doubt be compared by handwriting experts to the Donald signature, that one-word signature that reportedly appears in the description of the letter bearing Donald Trump's name in the Epstein birthday book, as was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Unlike the Wall Street Journal's report on the Trump letter, the Bill Clinton letter contains no sexual innuendo. The Journal describes the Clinton page this way: a single paragraph in Clinton's distinctive scrawl saying, it's reassuring, isn't it, to have lasted as long across all the years of learning and knowing, adventures and illegible word, and also to have your childlike curiosity, the drive to make a difference, and the solace of friends. Bland stuff, nothing sexually suggestive in the Clinton birthday message to Jeffrey Epstein, something that could have been written by Clinton staff or Bill Clinton himself. The Wall Street Journal reports a spokesman for Clinton declined to comment on the birthday message, which was reviewed by the Journal. He referred to the Journal to a previous statement that the former president had cut off ties more than a decade before Epstein was arrested in 2019 and didn't know about Epstein's alleged crimes. That is Bill Clinton essentially validating the reporting that that is his letter. Bill Clinton is not threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal about the birthday book. He's not saying that's not my letter. Alan Dershowitz is not threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal about their reporting on the birthday book, which includes a letter from Alan Dershowitz to the child rapist who Alan Dershowitz defended in the first criminal cases against Jeffrey Epstein. The Journal reports the letter from Dershowitz, who represented Epstein in the first criminal case in the 2000s, included a mock-up of a Vanity Unfair magazine cover with mock headlines. It's been a long time, and I don't recall the content of what I may have written, Dershowitz said. So that's Alan Dershowitz confirming tonight that he contributed to the birthday book. Alan Dershowitz confirming the existence of the birthday book. Of all the people mentioned in the Wall Street Journal reporting who contributed to the birthday book, including fashion designer Vera Wang, none of them claim that they did not contribute to the birthday book. Donald Trump is the only one making that claim, and it's not working. Tonight, the Wall Street Journal is reporting this. The letter bearing Trump's signature, which had the outline of a naked woman, was one of the more memorable pages, according to the people involved in putting the album together. Last night on this program, Bradley Edwards told us who helped Ghislaine Maxwell put that book together. You said that some of your clients have specific knowledge of that birthday book.
Sure. Yes, more than one, multiple of them.
And what is that knowledge? They saw it, or they were around him when he was 50 years old? Were they present at his birthday, his 50th birthday?
I don't know the answer to that last question. I do know that they were involved in the assembly of the book, several of them. They were told by Ghislaine to assist in putting the book together. Others have seen the book post birthday and after it was assembled.
Some of Jeffrey Epstein's victims were actually used by Ghislaine Maxwell to assemble that birthday book, to actually put those letters together in that book.
Yeah, you have to remember that Jeffrey Epstein was abusing and exploiting young women and children every day of his life. So anybody that's around for any major event, such as the assembly of his 50th birthday book, they're going to have to be involved in assembling or playing their part, whatever they were directed to do, with respect to that book.
Wall Street Journal reported at 7:08 p.m. tonight, Brad Edwards, a lawyer who has represented more than 200 of Epstein's victims, said on MSNBC Wednesday evening that he has multiple clients who remember the birthday book. The existence of the book is an absolute fact. Edwards said several digital copies of the album have been created. Pages have been reviewed by Justice Department officials who investigated Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell years ago, according to people familiar with the matter. The album is part of Epstein's estate. Several copies means that the likelihood of the birthday book becoming public is increasing exponentially. MSNBC's legal correspondent Lisa Rubin, a frequent and valuable guest on this program, asked Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer tonight, does Maxwell herself have the book? And Maxwell's lawyer declined to comment. But today, Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal defense lawyer spent most of his day hanging with Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer. Todd Blanche's last job before becoming the number 2 at the Justice Department as the Deputy Attorney General was serving as Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer in his the criminal cases that Donald Trump was facing last year. Todd Blanche lost the one case that went to trial, and he still delighted in his failing final argument to the jury, in which he called the prosecution witness, Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former lawyer, the greatest liar of all time. Here is criminal defense lawyer Todd Blanche, after losing that trial last year, talking about that trial with Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal defense lawyer, who Todd Blanche spent the day with today.
Last thing about the closing. So you called him the MVP of liars. I love the gloat line, of course.
You loved it because you gave it to me, David. Say it to the world.
So
it was genius. It was genius, David. And I mean, in all seriousness, to you, I know a lot of people that have worked with you. I know a lot of people who know you very well. I now consider you a friend and someone who I know pretty well. You are by far the best out there, and I'll always say yes to this podcast.
Those two friends met today in what is the first time in Justice Department history that a deputy attorney general seized a case away from the prosecutor handling the case after firing that prosecutor last week, Maureen Comey, and then taking it upon himself to go have a meeting with a convicted sex trafficker who was also charged with perjury, There is absolutely no legitimate basis for such a meeting with the Deputy Attorney General, former criminal defense lawyer for Donald Trump, who gave every appearance today of still functioning as, in effect, Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer. Could Todd Blanche have any other purpose in talking to Ghislaine Maxwell than trying to get her to say something positive about his client, Donald Trump? Todd Blanche tweeted today, I met with Ghislaine Maxwell, and I will continue my interview of her tomorrow. The Department of Justice will share additional information about what we learned at the appropriate time. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer said this after the strangest meeting a criminal defense lawyer has ever had with a Deputy Attorney General of the United States.
Good to see you all. How's it going? Great.
Come on over, Leia. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. We had a very productive day today with the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, and Ghislaine Maxwell. First, we want to thank the Deputy Attorney General for being so professional with all of us and for meeting with us. He took a full day and asked a lot of questions, and Ms. Maxwell answered every single question. She never stopped, she never invoked a privilege, she never declined to answer. She answered all the questions truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability. And that's all the comment we're going to have today about the meeting.
And so tonight, the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, who were in middle school and high school when Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell raped them together, have more to fear tonight from Ghislaine Maxwell thanks to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer offered Ghislaine Maxwell what? Exactly what? To answer his questions today. Ghislaine Maxwell, who never testified in her own defense in her criminal trial, knowing she was facing a possible 20 years in prison, suddenly decided today that she would talk to a criminal prosecutor for the first time in her life. She could have done that when she and Jeffrey Epstein were both charged for those crimes, but she didn't. She fled. She was hiding out in New Hampshire when she was tracked down by federal agents and apprehended. And even though she was facing a federal criminal trial in which she knew there wasn't one word of testimony that she could give to that jury under oath that wouldn't make the case against her even worse. That's what she knew. That's why criminal defendants like Ghislaine Maxwell don't testify. If Ghislaine Maxwell thought for a second that she could have helped herself with the jury, with even one juror, by testifying, she would have testified. But she knew, and her criminal defense attorney knew, that the testimony against Ghislaine Maxwell by her victims, who she personally raped, along with Jeffrey Epstein, she didn't just lure them into being raped by Jeffrey Epstein. She joined Jeffrey Epstein in the room and joined personally in raping those girls. She knew that that testimony against her in court was something she could not possibly overcome. And so she didn't say a word. She decided there's nothing that she could say under oath to counter that testimony. But today, according to her lawyer, she answered every question. She never stopped. She never invoked privilege. What did Todd Blanche offer her to make her suddenly decide she was safe with Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney? Why did Ghislaine Maxwell decide today that she could tell Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney anything, and it couldn't possibly get her in more trouble? Here's what Bradley Edwards, the lawyer for hundreds of Epstein and Maxwell victims, told us last night.
One thing that has really alarmed our clients, particularly today, is the information that now Ghislaine Maxwell is being visited in jail, and that she is somehow being given some credibility and a platform on this particular topic. I think what people are forgetting is that Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't only indicted on sex trafficking charges. Ghislaine Maxwell, because of testimony she gave on multiple occasions in the civil cases where we sued her, She provided testimony, and as a consequence of false testimony, she was indicted on 2 perjury counts on this particular topic. So we're going to go and ask somebody to tell the truth who was indicted on perjury charges related to this particular topic. Now, does she have information that could potentially help? Yes. Will she be truthful about it? Who knows? But whoever is going to be the questioner, whoever is going to be the interrogator, must know more than just a rudimentary understanding of the case. You have to have seen her other deposition transcripts to know what she said so that you can keep her in line. You have to know her testimony from her criminal trial to keep her in line, and you have to understand the case. Sending somebody there that knows nothing, she's going to say whatever she wants to say. And what's her incentive? Is her incentive because she's going to get a deal? I have many clients who say, look, President Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell were good friends back then. Is he going to commute her? Is he going to pardon her? And I have said to them, look, I know that you feel like an afterthought right now. I know that you feel like you don't matter. For him to do that would be he thought about you and he decided you do not matter.
Good friends back then. Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell were good friends, and it looks like Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal defense lawyer are trying to make them good friends once again.